So I would like to share some of my experience of my risk program. So it was in, like I said, it was in like three or 4 years ago when I attended the risk program, and it turns out to be a very critical step in my whole life. Actually, I didn't make my mind until I finished the risk program that I decided to apply for a PhD program after that. So before going to the risk, I had some research experience in my undergraduate university, but I was primarily working on the mechatronics design, something like that. And I have no idea about autonomous driving. But the risk program actually provides me a great chance. You will be able to sample the areas that you're interested in. In my case, I tried the autonomous driving, which is totally a new area for me, but I learned so much and I realized this is, I really like it. And after the whole risk program, I see how I like this feeling of the research, how this sense of achievement when you solve all the puzzles. So that drives me to the decision, okay, I'm going to apply for a PhD program after that. And the risk program actually provide very great guidance for my following academic journey. I think it provides me a great platform for me to receive the research training, and also a very rare chance for me back in 3 or 4 years ago to publish my own research findings in a very top tier robotics conference as a first author. So I think although the risk program is only a summer, but I think we continued the collaboration with my advisors and my mentors in the following year after the risk program. So that further extend our research in some more applications, which are super fantastic. Yeah. So overall, I think risk program is a great experience. And if you are interested in research, or you are simply interested in it, but you don't have much experience before, this is a good chance for you to try. Yeah, I think that's what I saw. Thanks.
That's wonderful, Yue. And I think that you had really when you entered into the research space, you didn't know whether you wanted to go to do graduate school in the area of, research, whether that was a direction. And that's what risk is about, right? It's about an immersion, and there's no right path or one outcome. We've recently looked at where students go afterwards and the type of careers and such. And what is clear across the board is that they're successful, right? And there's a number of skills, and there's a network, and you're joining this network in robotics, whether it's going to be in research or in industry. And during the risk experience, we want you to dive deep with us to, imagine what you would want to do within research. What kind of mentorship do you want? What kind of advisors? And you're doing that. And I think with John Dolan, you found a really good fit with an advisor and a team, and he has a fabulous lab. And that was about your academic journey. And each scholar has a little bit different journey with us, because there's 25 labs that are participating. So it's really customized to that experience, and each person's experience will be a little bit different. And the risk program tries to provide layers of overlay to support those different journeys. Raina, would you like to share a little bit about your risk experience?
Yeah, so as Rachel said, I had a virtual risk experience last year, but even though it was virtual, they did a really great job on just kind of making sure that we got an overview of what research is like at CMU. They invited speakers, Rachel, Dr. Dolan, all of them provided great support, even though it was virtual. which is like really hard to do, I feel. But a little bit about how I got into just research and stuff was that I didn't have that much research experience. I did a little bit of research my first year at undergrad, which I'm still in, but and then the only robotics experience I had was in high school. But I knew that I was really interested in robotics and that I wanted to further my career in that. So I knew that I wanted to do research. I knew that I want to go to grad school. So I looked into riss, and riss taught me a lot of things, including, how to start research from scratch, which was something that I didn't know how to do. So they provided a lot of workshops for me to kind of understand the process, all the way from creating your own novel idea to writing a paper, which is all very important steps in research. And my lab was always there on call, ready to help. We had great communication, even though, again, it was virtual, over Zoom, over email, anything. And I am still working with the lab right now to complete our project. It's still ongoing. We're still, getting better results, and we're trying to make the project even better.
I think that's critical. So, when I think about the access and the opportunity, and just reflect on that, both of you are really working with pioneers in the field. So Dr. Stephen Smith was chosen by Obama and his team to present on futures of artificial intelligence, and he's just really well known there, but accessible to students, and the projects have meaning and value as well. We invited you to participate today, and what I'm hearing also is that each of you, in the projects that you're doing, there's a direct impact on quality of life. There's a direct impact on people's lives, and sometimes that is, we think about research as being very disconnected from those, but it's the opposite. There's really a mission and an aim to this. Some of the questions that we've received in the background are about the process of applying, and how to really carve out and present their profile. I'm going to share a few logistics, and then maybe you both can share some ideas and guidance for those that are with us about how to really present out and how to approach the application. So and I'm looking through an admissions committee lens here, is that go to the website, know when the program is, know which faculty members, which projects are there. Those are the essentials, right? That's really the essentials, is that you know and understand these things. When you look at this is from the riss website. When you go in there, it has information about really how to get started. The most important thing that you can do is to go through the research showcase, because you want to tie what you're doing with the recent projects within riss. So we talked about this Robotics Institute being this huge institute with probably hundreds of active projects, 60 plus labs, and all of these resources and dynamic engagements. You need to narrow that, and you'll narrow that by the first thing. If we look at the green box there, go to the research showcase, look at the posters, look at the videos, look at recent papers. Who has participated? What are those projects like, right? And go forward in that direction first. Match to that. Your best time is to match and really do some of the research around there. It's identifying the mentors, and how are you going to contribute? If you are going to always come back here and we'll answer more questions or share more ideas, you really want to look at the research that the mentors are doing. Your resume is going to be 2 pages or less. Your transcripts are unofficial. 1 recommendation letter, at least that recommender should talk about your potential to do research, and your statement of purpose should be 2 pages or less. A 1-page really tight is great. You want to spend almost no time telling us that CMU is a good school or others. Instead, use that space to talk about what you've explored in the riss research showcase, and what you'd like to work on and how you can contribute. So it's also about, yes, what you're going to learn, and we scaffold that experience for you to learn, but how are you also going to contribute? Because you need to be able to come in with some preparation to really hit the ground running. So Reina, Iwe, we ask that the applicants not contact the mentors in advance, but really go through the research showcase, look at Google Scholar. How would you approach trying to find and understand what some of the projects might be?
Well, last year we recorded videos of all of our research. They're short, they're like 5 minutes. So that's a really good spot to start. Sometimes those videos tell more than just what the papers or what our posters would show, but there's also posters in our papers online as well. So scrolling through those, looking at those, selecting a few that might come to pique your interest, and looking at those would really help.
What was an interesting question has come in from 6 of those that have popped in. Do you propose your own projects or a project pre-planned? And I would say that most labs have a different process. Can you talk about each of you, how you ended up with the project that you worked on? Like, what was your process for that?
I can go. So my process was kind of building off of a previous project that Dr. Smith had worked on. So he created the first version of a pedestrian navigation app. And my job was to kind of figure out a way to better that by making it more hands-free, by making it more accurate. So finding a different method. So that my project was more building off.
And Iwe, what about you?
Yeah, I think my project at that time was also a kind of extension of the existing research, and I think that that's probably the common case here. And I am also mentoring some riss students this year and last year. So what we did is, okay, here's my current research, and I can find some subtask or some topic could be could be reachable after some hard work, and we know it is feasible to do that, and we know if you go that direction, you should probably you can get there. So we will probably give some suggestions to the student and see how they are how they like it, and they can also add some their own ideas to it if they want.
That's really helpful. So what I heard you say was that many of the projects, a common thread across is it's building from, it's an extension, which leans into the point that Reina, that you had said as well, which is look at the previous projects, because what are you building from? You're building from one of those projects and the capabilities, and there's intentional scoping during the summer. I think that being in person is so much easier than being remote, because when you're remote, it's hard to just pop your head in and ask a questions. But when we're together in this, you're able to have more informal and frequent communications. And I think that's really helpful, because when we're remote, sometimes we can go longer periods of time than we should without interacting and engaging there. But it's about building from prior projects and going there. There are students, as they approach applying for riss or any research opportunity, are really worried about, whether they should try to, whether they should apply or not. So why, if I can leave with this last piece of advice from each of you, if a student is considering research, what are the benefits of getting a research experience early in your undergraduate career, and what advice do you have to them? So that's my question to both of you.
I think this is kind of like a free trial. You get to try it with people who can support you, and these people are really good. They are the best in the field. So, I mean, this is the best shot you can have to sample the areas and see if you really like it. And this kind of decisions can be very important to your, if you are going to apply for a PhD, you should definitely make sure, okay, this is exactly the area you're interested in. Yeah.
That's a good point. A PhD is 3 to 5 years. So, having that focus is really important. Reina, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think it's definitely just like, there's no harm in trying. Just like you get a lot of experience and you get a lot of just like, not just about research, but you get a lot of life skills out of, you learn it from this program as well. So I think that it's not just about the research, but you learn so much more than that. So I definitely think there's just no harm in trying. It's a great summer experience.
Thank you for joining today, for sharing your experiences, and we'll be students will be following up as well. One of the things that I've heard from each of you is the sort of the opportunity. Yue, you were talking about sampling, right? And sampling and that exposure, and really, carving out what is your path forward. What areas are you interested in? And that's one of the exciting things I think about the community here. It's not just the program, but it's the entire community saying, we want you to explore. So you may come in with an interest in one area, but there are adjacent fields and research applications that you might, or approaches that you might be interested in. And also the, what you said about you're learning a whole set of skills, and broader than that, you're joining a network, and all of that can help you move forward, whatever direction you're going in. And it demystifies the research process a little bit, right? And so whether you're going to be in industry, and we see that R&D in industry is getting bigger and bigger, it's really more and more important, and it's a skill set that's really valuable for you to move forward. So I want to thank each of you for joining this morning, and for sharing your ideas. And we hope to be in person for summer 2022, so that we can do things like go to the National Robotics Engineering Center, have a small group discussions with faculty and researchers and grad students, just hearing about their journeys and such. So we look forward to welcoming Reina, hopefully you back with us this summer and exploring. And Yue is here, and she's a mentor again, and so very grateful for her continued engagement. So take care, everyone, and we'll talk with you soon. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream.